Hello everybody. Greetings to all of you. Welcome to the massive open online course on disaster management preparedness. This Mooc program is offered by School of Management at Sri Narayana Institute of Technology, Adur. This massive open online course Mooc program on disaster management preparedness consists of 3 units. Unit 1 deals with the basic concepts. Unit 2 is about the global framework for disaster risk reduction. Unit 3 deals with national and institutional framework for disaster risk reduction in India. Welcome to Unit 1, the basic concepts. Have you ever thought of elements of different hazards that exist in your community or locality? In this unit, you will be introduced to these aspects and many more terms and terminologies that are commonly used by the practitioners of disaster risk reduction. What are hazards? Hazards are potential threats to life, livelihood, and environment. Hazard can be defined as a dangerous natural phenomenon or substance, human activity, or condition that may critically cause loss of life, injury, or other health impact, property damage, loss of livelihood, essential life support systems, social and economic disruption, ecosystem services, or long-lasting environment damage. Ecosystem services are unhindered provisions for air, water, soil, and biodiversity. Consider the classic case of impact of COVID-19, which disrupted economic and social systems world over. Hazards are in general classified as natural hazards, anthropogenic hazards, and hybrid hazards. There is yet one another type known as physical hazards. Natural hazards are geophysical, hydrological, and meteorological in nature. Earthquake, volcanic eruption, tsunami, and landslide are geophysical in nature. Flood, avalanche, and hailstorm are examples of hydrological hazards. Drought, cyclone, and hurricane are examples of meteorological hazards. As the name indicates, biological hazards are of bio-origin. It is triggered by bacteria, virus, birds, animals, or plants. Coronavirus is a recent biological hazard. Zoonotic diseases like Nipah or bird flu are also examples. They turn into epidemic or pandemic in nature and disrupt socio-economic systems in addition to loss of life and livelihood. Anthropogenic hazards are another class of hazards which are triggered solely due to the human activities. Potential threats due to hazardous chemical substances, nuclear or radioactive materials, terrorism or war are examples of anthropogenic hazards. Is there any mechanism to understand when or wherever hazardous chemicals, nuclear or radioactive materials are transported, stored, or used? Yes, there is. HAZCOM code is a universal protocol to indicate hazardous nature of hazardous chemicals and nuclear or radioactive materials. This panel is known as Emergency Information Panel. This panel has to be displayed wherever or whenever hazardous chemicals are transported, stored, or used. As you can see in the Emergency Information Panel displayed here, there are Emergency Action Code or HAZCOM code, the hazard warning sign, Then on the left hand side you have the UN number for hazardous chemical details and a number for contacting for detailed specialist advice. Emergency information panel is to be displayed on both the sides, front and back of the carrier in which the hazardous chemicals are transported. Is there any other mechanism enabling quick response while hazardous chemicals are transported? Yes, it is trump card or transport emergency card. This A4-sized document gives all necessary information regarding the HASCM transported during any emergency. It is red marked for easy identification. Trump card must be kept in the driver's cabin whenever hazardous chemicals are transported. Another type of hazards are hybrid hazards. These are triggered by human activities. Classical example is global warming. Global warming is due to the higher and higher emission of greenhouse gases. As a consequence, there may be slow or sudden onset of natural phenomenon that may sometimes become hazardous in nature. There are scientific evidences indicating that the mean sea level rises 3.3 millimeters per year. This phenomenon is posing serious threats to coastal communities and small island nations. Another class of hazards are physical hazards. It exists at domestic environment or workplaces. Physical hazards pose threats even without direct contact. A few examples of physical hazards in the domestic or work environment are noise, moving machinery accident, slipping, heating, projectile or fire. Hazard assessment is an important step towards preparedness. It involves identifying and understanding hazards. Hazard assessment also involves analyzing and estimating potential threats due to hazards. Hazard mapping is also another important step towards preparedness. This is the process of establishing geographically where and to what extent particular phenomenon is likely to pose a threat to people, property, infrastructure and economic activities. Hazard mapping is done on different scale depending upon the purpose and requirement. On a large planning scale, the mapping may be on a regional scale which may be 1:1 lakh or above, whereas in medium scale, the mapping may be 1:25,000 or above. At an event scale or a specific scale, the mapping may be 1:1,000. It means that hazard mapping is an important tool towards better disaster management preparedness. Dear learners, we are at the close of the topic hazard. Here is an assignment. Identify hazards that exist in your locality. Make hazard assessment. Send your response to the mail ID given. Thank you for watching. Be prepared and be safe.